Welcome back to the Sharing English podcast, where we explore stories from the English-speaking world, spoken slowly and clearly for curious English learners like you. Let's get started. Hi everyone, it's your host, Freya. Every year, on April 22, millions of people around the world celebrate Earth Day. You might see people planting trees, cleaning up parks, or talking about climate change and protecting the environment. But have you ever wondered, where did Earth Day come from? And why did it start in the United States? In today's episode, we're going to explore how Earth Day began, what was happening in the US at the time, and how one idea grew into a global movement. Let's start with a simple definition. Earth Day is an annual event focused on environmental protection and awareness. On this day, people around the world take part in activities like community cleanups, tree planting, educational events, and discussions about climate and sustainability. But Earth Day didn't begin as a global celebration. It started as a response to a growing problem. To understand the background behind Earth Day, we need to go back to the 1960s in the United States. This was a time of rapid industrial growth. Factories were producing more goods, cities were expanding, and cars were becoming more and more common. But there was a cost. Air and water pollution were increasing, and there were very few environmental regulations. In some cities, the air was filled with smog. Smog is when there is a lot of pollution in the air. Rivers were so polluted that in extreme cases, they even caught fire. At the time, many people accepted this as the price of economic growth. But slowly, public awareness began to change. One major event helped bring environmental issues into the national spotlight: the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. This oil spill off the coast of California released millions of gallons of oil into the ocean. Images of oil-covered beaches and wildlife were widely shared in the media. For many Americans, this was shocking. It made environmental damage visible in a way that was hard to ignore. Around this time, a U.S. Senator named Gaylord Nelson became increasingly concerned about environmental issues. He wanted to bring these problems into public discussion and political action. Inspired by student protests of the 1960s, he had an idea to organize a nationwide, quote-unquote, teach-in about the environment. A teach-in is a type of public educational event where people come together to learn and discuss important issues. As a result, the first Earth Day took place on April 22, 1970, and it was massive. Millions of people across the United States participated. Schools, universities, and communities organized events, discussions, and demonstrations. It became one of the largest public movements in U.S. history. For the first time, environmental protection became a major national conversation. Earth Day didn't just raise awareness, it also led to real change. In the years that followed, the U.S. government created the Environmental Protection Agency, often called the EPA. New laws were introduced to protect air quality, water quality, and natural environments. This showed that public action could lead to real political and environmental change. At first, Earth Day was a national event in the US, but over time, it spread. In 1990, Earth Day became a global event with participation from countries around the world. Today, it is celebrated in more than 190 countries. What began as a single-day protest grew into an international movement. Today, Earth Day continues to evolve. It is often connected to major global issues like climate change, sustainability, and renewable energy. Schools, businesses, governments, and individuals all take part in different ways. Some people focus on small personal actions like reducing waste or using less plastic. Others focus on larger issues like policy and global environmental challenges. Before we wrap up, let's take a quick moment to highlight a few key words you heard in today's discussion and you might continue to hear in discussions about Earth Day. First, environment. Environment is the natural world around us. Pollution is used to describe harmful substances in air, water, or land. Sustainability means using resources in a way that can continue long term. Climate change refers to long-term changes in Earth's temperature and weather patterns. And finally, activism, which is taking action to create change. These are all very common words in English language news and conversations. Earth Day shows how public awareness can lead to change. It started with concern about visible environmental problems, but it continues because those challenges still exist today. It also shows how one idea, started in one country, can spread across the world. And it reminds us that individuals, communities, and governments all play a role in shaping the future. Earth Day began as a response to real problems in the United States, but it has grown into something much bigger. It's now a global moment to reflect on how we interact with the planet and what we can do moving forward. So now I'm curious, does your country celebrate Earth Day? And if so, what kinds of activities do people take part in? Let me know. Thanks for listening to the Sharing English podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you'd subscribe, leave a rating or review, and share the podcast with a friend who's also learning English. You can find out more about me and the podcast at our website, www.sharing-english.com. New episodes of the Sharing English podcast are available weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, let me know, what topics are you interested in hearing more about? Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep sharing English.